Hey, welcome back. We're here again with Average at Best Cornhole. I'm Justin. This is Craig. If you haven't watched one of our videos yet, today we're really excited to talk about these Big Mac bags that we got and give a little attention to the little guy instead of the big guy for once.
Throughout this whole video, we're going to be talking about how thick these bags are because these are some full, thick bags.
Yep.
Which, if you like that, this video is going to be right for you. We're going to be talking about a bag series called Obedient and one called Quarantine. Obedient is the blue ones with our custom logos on there, and the Quarantine is the Halloween bags, which are pretty sweet looking also.
Just a little bit about the company. Big Mac Bags is just a small little operation that Craig actually had found on Facebook. So.
Yeah, Adam's the owner. Real nice. I shot him a message because I wanted to get the customs done. He was real easy to work with. And his bags are great, and really enjoyed talking to him and, trying these bags out. Jumping right in the scoring, the Obedience, I got to give him a 4-bagger and one. The custom logo on there. You can't go wrong with that. The Quarantine, they're pretty sweet. I'm going to give him a 3-bagger, but that custom, it's something else.
Availability on these bags, you should have no problem getting these. Get on his website or, reach out to him directly. You can probably find him on Facebook. They seem to always be available with no issues.
Yeah, it's a small operation, too, so even if it doesn't have what you want on hand, he can make it up for you. And customs, he's real big on making customs, which is a quick turnaround. You'll be happy with that service also.
Yeah, I think it was just a few days from when you ordered those custom
ones.
Few
days, yeah. He'll mock up your custom for free, send you pictures of it, and then it literally only takes a couple days for him to sew them up for you and get them shipped out.
Yeah, that's super impressive because, we've ordered from the big guys and not gotten them as quick. Get a custom print logo that fast.
So that leads us right to the cost of these bags. Big Mac bags, they're getting a 4-bagger for sure. $65 for these bags. And that includes customs. No additional cost for customs. So you can go on his website, find any design you want. He has a bunch of other series listed there too. And I believe you can get customs on any series you want. And it's going to be the same price.
It's another very impressive thing to me, from a smaller guy, making these bags, because some of the higher end companies, it's an extra $20-$30 to get your own custom print.
Hey, I haven't even tried.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just
the cost is too high to start with.
Almost as much as we paid for these bags altogether.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to you about it more, throughout this video. But, for the quality that we're getting here with the price, it's a 4-bagger.
Yep, you should get a hold of Big Mac Bags for sure.
So, Craig, you dealt with him. Tell us just a little bit more about the company.
Yeah, like I said, Big Mac Bags, he has a Facebook page. It's just at Big Mac Bags. That's how I found him. That's how I got a hold of him. The owner's name is Adam. Send him a personal message. You can ask any questions. He was super quick to respond to me. Like I said, the customs, I gave him an idea. He gave me a free mock-up. It was like a day or two. He sent me pictures of the mock-up. I said, yes, I want those. Sent him some money over Venmo, and he started selling them. Now he also has a website, too, which I believe is pretty soon. He didn't have a website back then, but he does now, and that's just bigmacbags.com. That way you can get on there. He has a speed chart listed, and you can read about all the series of bags.
So, yeah, and, we'll bring up that website. We'll make sure there's a link down there. And even if you have trouble with that, again, he's very active on Facebook. Shouldn't have any problem finding him. Break-in method was just the old school vinegar soak, right?
Yeah, that's all we did to him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And, they broke in, just like you'd expect, no issues there. And, I'm not sure about warranty information on that, if he has a specific way to...
I talked to him about breaking in, and I believe he used vinegar. He was telling me he wanted to try some toss sauce on some of his bags, so... No, he understands that sometimes you need a little bit more to break a bag.
Yeah. I guess that's a good thing buying these bags is if you have a preferred break-in method, double check with the company first just in case something's changed since we've looked into it. But these are, a great option to, whatever you like to do, throw it at them, break them.
Now, the Obedient, they were a little bit more broken in just because of the materials than the Quarantines were. But, you get that with herringbone. If you've ever bought a set of herringbone bags, it's a little stiff to start with. So this hybrid carpet on the Obedient, it was pretty soft to start. And but we still ran them through anyways since we were doing the other ones. So we're going to jump right into the baggage on these bags and start with the speeds. So the Obedient, on his website, he has these listed as a 4.5 to 5.5 on the slow side and then an 8 on the fast side. The 8 was pretty accurate, and then he has that wide range for that slow side carpet. I don't know why, and we have experience with that carpet. That's the same that are on the buffalo sauce and a few other bags. And it really isn't affected by humidity too much. Yeah. So I don't know what the range came from. Now, the funny thing is when we were playing with these bags, we both felt that they were slow. They played slow for some reason.
Very slow, I thought.
But then when we put them on the ramp compared to the quarantines, they're actually a little bit faster. And then that gets me into the quarantine. Those are actually listed at 5, which is the middle range of the obedient slowed side. And then the fast side is a 9. So I'm pretty sure this is just your standard Viper Pro Sniper fast side on there. So a very common 5.9.
Yeah, I wasn't there when he ran them down the ramp. So my only experience with them throwing between the two, I thought that they were much slower. We threw several bags that night, and I think those were the slowest bags, that I threw that night.
Played slow for some reason.
Yeah, and the boards felt fast that night too.
Well, yeah,
for the most part.
We're in the middle of winter here in Ohio, so there's no humidity at all.
Yeah,
we're playing indoors with radiant heat.
Yeah, so it's about as dry as it gets.
Yes.
The boards felt fast, and but I was leaving unintentional blockers quite a bit with those. The quarantines, same as your typical herringbone. I didn't see any major variations between what we see between the Fallout X's and really anything that has that herringbone carpet. They were right where they're supposed to be at a 9.5.
As I touched on earlier, the template on these bags, they are thick. We measured them 1.25 inch thickness because it's kind of a small or medium sized template. They're only measuring it 5 3/4 side to side. But how thick they are, it shows. It really feels that in your hand, too.
Yeah, they feel super full, and it's probably why I like them.
And they don't weigh more than what normal bags weigh. We weighed them, and they were right on 450 grams. So,
well, that was another thing we experienced when we were throwing these bags. We both thought that they were heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy and, like I said, slow. But once we got into, actually kind of test them and measure them, the results didn't really, match up with what we thought that night.
And how they react on the board, too. Like, if you get it on the board, it's going to clear stuff out of its way. You don't have to worry. If someone's got a blocker, just go right through it, or even nudge it, bully it, just right off to the side.
Just to speak more on that, the fill, it's full on these bags. There's not a lot of flop to them. So if you prefer a floppy bag, you may have a hard time adapting to these. I liked them right out of the gate because I don't like a floppy bag. So when I felt how full they were, I was pretty excited. I was like, this is awesome. You don't see a lot of bags with this full of a feel.
And both bags listed as having mostly flat fill, which I agree. Bagmanship on these bags, this is what you're going to expect from a smaller company. You got one guy probably primarily doing all the sewing, and it's phenomenal. All the sides, the seams are tight, and his closing seam is that small on this bag, folks. I don't know if he has his kids flipping these bags inside out or something, but you can't even, this full bag, and you don't even know that closing seam's there because it's so small and it's so tight to the top. I was very impressed with the bagmanship.
I'm with Craig. Overall, the bagmanship is really good on these. All the seams, for the most part, look good. I do like that smaller stitch seam. Sometimes I did actually have to look at the bag. Normally I'll just feel because I always try to put that seam in the same spot. And because it's smaller, sometimes I had to look to make sure I had it. Just to nitpick a little bit, I did notice that we did have a few loose ends on the stitch here that weren't cut off. Not a big deal. It doesn't affect the performance of the bag at all. They're not coming, unsewn or anything like that. That just could have been trimmed up a little better and could have just been a one-off. Who knows?
And that's the problem when your bag is sewn not well. You're going to notice and nitpick a little strand sticking out the top. But we're here to point that stuff out.
Right.
So. Slide up on these bags. That's us talking about their playability. Forgiveness, these bags were actually surprisingly forgiving.
They were.
For as full as they are, I didn't think they would have been that forgiving, but they were. Now, the quarantine, it seemed to hang up on the front of the hole a little bit more than what I would have liked for me. Sometimes it was like my fourth throw, too. And then it just stopped right there at the front of the hole. There was a couple times we were playing, and there was a few bags cluttered in the front of the hole. And, I went for a hard push, just thinking it was going to pug. And then I was surprised because they all fell in.
Yeah, I as well was impressed with it. A lot of times you get that fuller bag. It's harder to just really get that flat landing you're looking for. But I didn't really struggle with these. I definitely prefer the obedience just because it's got that buffalo sauce style carpet on the side, which to me is more forgiving. I know, a lot of other people really, kind of praise the forgiveness of a herringbone. I don't experience that. I sometimes still struggle with those unwanted or unexpected cuts, depending on how hard or how much spin I put on the bag. So they're both still very forgiving bags. Just the obedient for me was the more forgiving bag.
And I did notice, too, a couple times when I was throwing the quarantine, if I had like a bag sitting off to the side, kind of still in front of the hole, but off to the side, I was thinking in my head, man, I'm not going to collect that. I'm not even going to try. And I throw it anyways and accidentally hit it. And for some reason, if one corner were to catch the other corner, it actually, it's so heavy that it knocked it over and pulled it in the hole.
Getting into the speed consistency on these bags, I found them both, pretty consistent. Again, I lean more towards the obedient just because I felt like I throw them better. So I felt more comfortable with the speed that I was throwing at the boards. The quarantines, also herringbone, super consistent. So no issues there. Blocking ability. These bags are both going to be great blockers. That fullness and stuff that's, makes them a little harder to move, a little bit heavier. No issues putting a blocker up there. If you got a good blocker with these and then you throw something like a lighter bag like a Wizard L or even a Viper and stuff, you may have a harder time really just pushing through that blocker and freeing up the hole.
So along with blocking, other capable shots for these bags, I would assume all of them. Just how full they are. I bet you roll bag players can roll these bags. They still run. You can run holes with them. That would be easy. Airmail kings, I think. I mean, that bag is so dense. And I was trying and trying. I'm not good at airmails, full disclosure. But I kept trying and trying. And it seemed like every time I threw an airmail and it went in, it took something else in there with it too. Yeah. Whether it was his bag or my bag or both our bags. So if you're at a switch and your name gets drawn for the airmail challenge, you might want to take this bag out.
Getting into the whole bodiness. These bags go in the hole. They do. I don't think it's great. I think we plugged a lot of holes with these.
We plugged some, yeah. It was surprising, though. I thought we would have plugged more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone back and fully watched all of our videos yet, on us throwing those. But from what I remember, I know I plugged the hole quite a bit with them. But, I mean, I can do that with any bag, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, the quarantines kind of came up short a few times on me. And they were actually kind of hanging in the front, you know. With this full of a bag, you would expect it to plug up sometimes, too.
Yeah. Overall rating on these bags? I'm going to go with a 3 on the obedient. Big part of that's because of that nice print that Big Mac Bags put on there. But no, overall, I mean, when we factor in the price and everything with these bags, they're not really outshined a whole lot by a more expensive bag. So you got to give it to them in that regard. So I think, I'm going to give them both a 3. I lean towards the obedience, though.
What these bags would be great for if you had a personal set at home or whatever and you wanted a nice set of custom bags or whatever to match your favorite sports team or what you named your garage or, by the pool or something or whatever. You get the customs done because you're going to enjoy playing them. I mean, they really were a lot of fun to play.
They were.
How full they were. The only thing that I think might be a problem is you try taking these with a switch and you got paired up with someone and you're like, hey, you want to throw these bags? They might not be used to something that, full, and they might not want to play with them. Support the small guys. They're great bags. And his website, like I said, he has a speed chart up there. Is a lot of other options, too. And he actually has quarantine L's listed. So, I mean, there's a lighter version of that, so it's probably going to be more floppy, which I would love to give a try sometime. And he had another bag. I forget the name of it. But it sounded like it was a lot thinner also.
If you like thick bags, check them out. Will these bags make you better? As I always say, probably not. I don't think a bag itself is going to make you better. They're not going to make you worse. They're just kind of, right in the middle of everything. You know what I mean? If you're getting started, you're just beginning your cornhole journey, then maybe these will make you better because you can get a real set of cornhole bags for an affordable price to start practicing with. Worth the cost?
Definitely worth the cost, yes. I mean, he has quite a bit listed on his website. Go check it out. Maybe something will stand out to you.
Absolutely worth the price. One of the better values out there. Don't let the unstamped bags discourage you. You're gonna take them to your switches. You're gonna play them just as good as any other bag. So
support the small companies. I mean, this guy loves cornhole. That's why he's selling cornhole bags.
Yep. Yeah, that's we'll get us right into our final thoughts, and that's right where I'm at. I love supporting the small guy. I mean, he's out here competing with these companies that have national exposure, and he's building a company off of Facebook and doing a fantastic job. So support that. Go out if you're looking for a set of bags. These are also great. If you tailgate or you go family reunions or you're playing with buddies and you don't want to take your $130 bags out and
kids are going to be thrown on concrete and whatnot.
I'm stuck in the rafter of the garage and stuff. So they're great for that. So I mean, if you already got some high end bags that you're playing with, don't overlook this because it's a great opportunity for a bag that you can go out and just let anybody have a hand at them.
Yep. So with that said, everybody's average is something. So if you're going to be average, you may as well be average at cornhole.